Hello and welcome to the WBPodcast. It's Jason.
Keeping it generic.
Keeping it generic.
Oh yeah. This is Holiday Elf Tad.
And yeah, Tad's here too.
Not actually an elf. I've never seen a bald elf before.
Like Santa Claus elves?
Yeah, they always have like hair.
I have.
When?
Some like those clay animation movies.
What?
Like Rudolph.
I don't remember.
There's a few of them
I
bald
don't
there.
remember seeing any bald elves in there.
Yeah, I think it's just because it's hard to do hair.
I
It's
think
easier
they're
to
just
make them
lazy.
bald. Yeah, I've seen
Lazy
those,
claymations.
and I mean the Tolkien movies. No.
They have long, luxurious hair.
Mm-hmm.
Why I want to be an elf.
I think I've seen some in like D&D before, or like at least conceptual art.
I think I've seen one bald elf in Dragon Age Origins. There's these group of like wandering elves you gotta go meet, and then you gotta like fight these werewolves. And the leader of their whole clan or whatever, he's bald. So I lied. Sorry.
Interesting way to start the podcast.
Bald elves.
Yeah. We're Bear Podcast. Thanks for joining. It is today the day, or is it Christmas Eve? It is Christmas Eve today.
Tis the eve of Christmas.
For us, but when this gets posted,
It might
be New Year. So Happy New Year.
It won't be New Year's.
Everyone, who knows? I don't know. You don't know. Circumstances could come up.
And a Merry Festimas to you.
Yeah. Whatever the holiday is for you. I don't celebrate Christmas.
Unless
Or
you're a
Han.
Nazi.
Nazis celebrate Christmas. I
You
think.
don't get anything, Nazis.
No, they do.
You're horrible people.
They shouldn't. This is like,
I'll
because
be
we were
racist
talking
towards
about
Nazis.
this at Walmart the other day, like racism in America.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think Germany should be blamed for their past mistakes.
I'm not blaming Germany. I'm blaming
Just
Nazis.
Nazis.
Yeah. Because you can be
Okay.
a Nazi and not be
I guess
German.
you could still be a Nazi today. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they had that thing where like they stopped giving Social Security to Nazis. Like I guess we would do that for a long time. And everyone's outraged because no one knew. And it turns out these guys were like Nazis, and they're like, "Oh, you don't get that because you're horrible people."
In America?
In America.
I didn't know we had American Nazis.
Well, no, they were Nazis from Germany, and they came over after the war.
But how did they know they were Nazis and not just Germans?
They had found out.
Like they were like
they did background checks.
like they had him in an office and they're like,
Were you a Nazi?
Were you born in Germany? Yes. Do you like Jewish people? No.
Yeah.
Yes. Fuck those German.
I don't know how they figured it. Like, I saw a clip of it on
What was it?
MSNBC or whatever, and they were like, "No more Social Security
Fuck
for
those Jewish
Nazis."
people. They should all die in a furnace.
Ooh.
I mean, no.
I respect them and their menorah.
Are you a Nazi? Yes. Oh, no. No more Social Security for you.
Ah, wonderful.
9.
It's funny because it means no.
Has anything interesting happened in your week?
Not really. Like,
Yeah, I
we
mean,
went and
either.
saw that. We went to the marathon of the Hobbit.
Yeah, we did that. We were the crazy people that went to the 9-hour
Yeah.
Hobbit marathon.
The IMAX.
Awesome. I fell asleep through some of it.
Just
Mostly the Hobbit. The unexpected journey. I was awake for the desolation of Smog. I did kind of doze off. Smog.
Smaug.
I did kind of doze off a little bit on that one, but not really.
I just kept getting pissed because
I
there was
was-
that guy in front of me. He kept like sitting in my lap pretty much. Like just leaning.
Oh yeah, those seats were horrible. That was
That's like the
the
downfall.
worst. The worst part of that was the our IMAX doesn't have the remodel, because I know a lot of movie theaters are moving to like the couch seats that fold out into a bed.
Which I totally agree with.
Yeah,
by the way.
that's a great.
You're
great
a genius.
Yeah, great. But the IMAX hasn't had that yet, so they still have those like 2 inches to the next seat
Just cram as
where your
many
knee
bodies
is.
as you can get.
Yeah,
in.
and that was a 9-hour sit, and that was the worst part.
Yeah. It's really hard.
There was
to
a guy in the back of me kept kneeing me, and I just kept leaning back at him because I was like, "Fuck your knees, dude." And he eventually moved, and I think he moved over to you, or at least his girlfriend did. Because he moved away from me. I remember like it was like after the Hobbit, and he's like, my fucking niece can't take this anymore, and he moved away from me, and I could sit back, and I was like, oh my god, this is a new feeling. So he might have sat towards you, man. That might have been the fat guy.
No, there was a guy in front of me.
Oh.
He was there for the first movie, and then he wasn't there for like Desolation of Smile again. I was like, oh, yes, this is awesome. But then he returned for the Battle of the Five Armies, and I was just dreading it. Because once he sat down, like, he was so big that the chair just like folds backwards, and like my legs have to spread for it.
I think we said this on one of the other podcasts, but I don't think you can spoil The Hobbit, because it's a book that's been out since the 70s?
60s? Before that, 50s.
Yeah, 50s.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can really spoil The Hobbit. What was your favorite part throughout the whole thing?
Like all three movies?
Yeah, and that would just being there. What was your favorite moment? It could be the movie, too.
I really like the barrel scene. Like it's very cartoony. It's very cartoony. At
a lot of people fucking hate that scene.
I really enjoy it.
Well, you mean like when you say the barrel scene, I automatically just jump to when Boma is rolling.
No, I don't like that part. Like from when like Bilbo is like getting him out, and then like he's like celebrating down through there, and he realizes, oh fuck, I'm stuck too. Like that is like my favorite part of all the movies, because it feels so organic to me, where he's just like, all right, I got him out. Oh fuck, shit. Okay, what do I do? Think.
Including the third movie.
Yeah, actually, like, out of all of them, like that's probably like one of my favorite parts.
Wow.
Like it's the one that stands out the most. I also enjoyed. I don't know why I did, but when Thorn and the Great White Orc or whatever are fighting, and he knocks him into the into the ice.
He didn't really knock him in the ice; just
broke the ice around him though.
That is a spoiler, by the way, because that did not happen in the book.
Oh. Sorry. Well, when he falls into the ice and he's like floating underneath, and they're just staring at each other, I was like, "Oh, that's weird." I thought that he died some other way.
I knew that wasn't the end of the fight. Like they clearly tried to like mislead you.
Well, it did make me jump though. Like when he bursts it out.
Did it?
I jumped.
I didn't know.
Well, that's because I'm a pussy.
I was waiting for you to fucking jump at the birds when they come out of the tomb. Because you fucking
ready.
Jumped at that part. You scared me when you jumped. Because it was like the birds fell out and you're like, this fucking scarecrow flailing arms moment. I was like, holy shit, what the fuck's wrong with you?
I jump easy, man. It's evolutionary.
I didn't even know why you jumped, and then, like it took me a moment to like piece that together. Like, oh yeah, that's right, the birds. Like I didn't even think it was a jump scare. I just thought something was gonna come out.
I just had flashbacks of Birdemic.
Yeah.
I didn't have my coat hanger with me.
Yeah, you need that apparently. My favorite part, well, not in the movie, but just my favorite moment in the whole thing was when Peter Jackson came out and thanked us for sitting for 9 hours to watch his movie, and the whole like
watch all 6 of them
dedicated fan thing, and I don't know, I really appreciated that. That was like
one of my nice. It was nice.
It was really, really nice, and I got a giant poster.
Yep.
I mean, you guys, I don't know if anybody got anything for the premiere, but man, you guys fucking missed out, because that is a badass fucking poster setup.
Well, they probably got like those little tiny ones again.
Tad got lucky because he ended up getting 2. I ended up just getting 1, but I got 1 you didn't get.
I got the other 2. I got the other 2 because you got the other one, kind of thing.
Was that what you didn't get?
Yeah. I was like, I don't want to be like Jason. I'm going to do my own thing. Thorn was pretty badass.
That is a badass poster.
Really
other 2, I don't really have a problem with Arrow. I can't think of his name. Elrond? Is it Elrond one of the posters?
I think Galandria. I got him.
Well, you got Galandria and.
I can grab mushrooms.
Galandria and Gandalf was one of them. I know that, but I couldn't remember what the third one was. You just picked the Galandria one. So that didn't really interest me. I mean, that's a
That's pretty. I
That's a good moment in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, not Galadriel. And what? I don't know what the other one is.
I think it's Elrond.
Is it Elrond?
I think it's Elrond. Because I think it's... Which... Honestly... Really No, it's not Elrond. It's Bald. It's Bald.
Bard?
Bard.
Bard.
Okay.
He wasn't that bad. He just felt very Aragorn.
I really like that scene when he shot Smaug.
Smaug.
I really like that scene.
There were a lot of good scenes in the movie.
Oh,
There
was so many
really
good scenes. I love that. I love the third one. I think that third one's my second favorite.
Next to Return
all
of
the
King.
6. Really
it's really, really good. Like it's not as long as the other ones either. Like,
no, it's 144 minutes.
Yeah.
Like
it's like just over 2 hours.
Yeah. And it's so good. I suggest anybody go see it. I don't think they'd be disappointed.
No.
Especially when they bitch about it being too long.
Yeah.
And this one's actually short.
This one's a super easy sit.
Yeah. It's tight.
There's no dead space, like, at all.
I remember when we were having that discussion where we were getting some popcorn. We got nachos. No, we're getting nachos. And we're discussing how long Smaug was going to be in the movie.
Oh, so
and
good.
I was like...
You called it.
I said 15 minutes max.
17.
I was 2 minutes off. Yeah, because I was timing that. From when the movie starts and when
Smaug dies.
Smaug dies.
I was actually genuinely pissed off.
I was
not
like...
because Smaug died, but I was like, fucking Jason was right.
I don't know. My math, or my movie superpowers were kicking in because I was like, well, there's a lot of shit that's got to happen. And
they don't got time for it.
You got Smaug's just going to burn shit and he gets shot. And that's not... Who fucking cares about that? I was like 15 minutes, fucking his ass is on the ground. Which I could probably call that because I timed it when he hit the ground. I think 15 minutes is when he got shot. It took like 2 more minutes to fall. So I could be technically right, but 17.
You get a 5-minute cushion either way. Mm-hmm. So you were in the ballpark.
Oh yeah.
I was just more pissed off because I never get to be right. Like never. I am never right.
It wasn't even a contest. I was just curious, and I had my phone out, and I was like, "Am I right? Am I right?" And I showed the phone to you, and I was like, I tapped you on the shoulder. I'm like, 17 minutes.
Motherfucker. It's a contest between me and you, but you even know it's a fucking contest because I never fucking win. But one day when I do win, it's like, yeah, I got you, and you're.
I want to say you probably won a few, and I just don't really care, so I'm not competing.
I don't think I've ever.
Your victories are like never.
Hollow.
Yeah, you're like woo, woo, and I'm like, yeah, good God, buddy, and you're like, no.
my victories involve twins.
Yeah, pout and be sorrow that you lost. Don't congratulate me, you bastard.
Stop being encouraging, damn it! I broke your spirit. Okay, sure. You broke me. Sorry.
More spirit brokenness. I need to feel your tears.
So tasty.
Salty. I heard that expression a lot recently.
What?
Salty. You're so salty because of your tears.
Oh.
And I was like...
I've actually never tasted tears. I try to keep them away from my mouth.
Well, your tears have salt in it. If nobody knows, because...
I figured.
Yeah. Because you're... So well, it's for freezing. If you're in the cold.
So it doesn't, freeze on you. That would suck if you're crying and you just get, icicles coming out of your eye.
Well, I've had people stupidly said that to me because they were out in the cold and they're like, my tears are freezing. I'm like, that's impossible. Because if it was that cold out, you'd be dead. They're like, no, it's not your tears that are freezing your face. It's your breath that's coming back up on your face. That's what's freezing, not your tears. Your tears can't freeze, you dumbass.
Yeah. Back to the Hobbit.
Yeah. I'm just, stupid people who don't know anything. Hobbit was good. I liked it.
There's every action scene was just really, really, really tight.
The only one I really didn't like was Legolas's defying gravity.
He does that in almost every. It was really apparent in this movie.
I explained that to Chris because this movie takes place before the Lord of the Rings, after he did his Tetris blocks defy gravity, because I'm just talking about when the blocks are falling and he's jumping on them.
Yeah.
I was like, after that, he must have just like looked back and was like, I can do anything, and that it just explains Legolas's superhero-ness throughout the whole Lord of the Rings, because he's like, elephant? Fuck, bring it on. I defied gravity one time.
Yeah.
I could take down an elephant, a whole giant army of 10,000. I'll grab a shield and slide down the fuck. I defied gravity, motherfuckers. You have no idea how awesome that was, that moment of jumping on falling blocks. It's fucking impossible. It was the only time I was like, oh. But it did have a good lead up because it led up to like Doran's fight with
I don't remember the guy's name. I can't remember the villain's name. Like,
I don't remember. It's in the books too.
But that's the fight with Galadriel and
that was
Sauron,
badass.
Like,
yeah, that was badass.
that
was the thing too, because I questioned how faithful it was going to be in the book, because I've heard rumors that it wasn't. Turns out it was completely more faithful than even the Lord of the Rings were. I mean, they changed stuff up, but I mean, how they changed it, it was still
improved it.
Yeah, but it was still very close to how it was. Like that whole setup with the dwarf crossbow for the Black Arrow thing they set up in the Desolation or Smog. They didn't even fucking use the damn thing.
The Black Arrow, or the dwarf.
Well, the crossbow that was used to launch the Black Arrow.
Well, they kind of did, but they used Bard and his son.
But that was in the book like that. They went on the bell tower. That was exactly how that went down. But they kind of set it up like, we're gonna go grab this crossbow, this ancient crossbow, and we're gonna shoot Smog down with it. And I was like, I guess it's on a tower. I guess that's kind of close. But no, they didn't even use it at all. They like set it up and they didn't even.
They acknowledged it. Like,
yeah.
Ooh.
This made up thing that was in the books, or it wasn't in the books. We might use this. No, we're just gonna stick with how the books did it. And how they did it was pretty clever. I thought it was like, oh, that's fucking awesome. Bark's family, I don't think was in the books.
I have not read The Hobbit in a while because someone still has my book.
Yeah.
They got like the day after they,
It's not me.
No.
I have my own copy of The Hobbit. You
really
could just like listen to an audiobook of it though. I mean,
I've thought about it because you can just go on to like audible.com and get a free download or whatever.
We shouldn't really be plugging them unless they want to sponsor us. So audio, if you want to sponsor us,
yeah.
Or you can contact us through YouTube or our Facebook page. Right. We'll plug your shit every damn time.
That sounds dirty.
I will for money. Yeah. Totally plug them all the time.
Gross.
Yep. Selling outness all over my face. Pearl necklace of selling out.
That's gross.
It's an expression. Yeah, it's gross.
Why? Just why?
I don't know. It's just selling out. It's kind of a... You said it was dirty. So.
It was.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the, like it was his dad, the king, or whatever. Like...
Oh, yeah.
He kind of grew on me, like, as it went. Like, especially when, what's her name? Tamriel, the chick elf that...
That wasn't in the books? Yeah.
Yeah. When she, like, confronted him to stop him from leaving, and he just totally kicked her ass kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was like, that was badass. And, like, you actually got a little bit of emotion out of him, not just, like, I'm a dick. Like,
He was a dick, though.
He was a dick. But, like, I almost kind of understood why he was a dick a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't feel like I hated him as much at the end, which is hard to do when all you do is play an asshole the entire time.
I don't know, like in the books, his only redemption was he just helped. And you're like, alright, I guess he helped, so I guess it's everything's okay. But he didn't get a chance to be such a dick in the books. He locked him up. And that's kind of where his dickery. And, like, he was a dick about that. I'm going to lock you up in my dungeon for 100 years. I don't fucking care.
It's a blink in the eye.
So, I mean, that addedness, I'm kind of curious, because that feels like that was something in the extended version. Because they're gonna have an extended version.
Well, they always do.
Yeah, because they kind of left it hanging with, like, Legolas's mom and...
Well, he was going off to find Aragorn? Yeah, I can't say his name. Strider.
Yeah.
I don't know why they have like that in there. Like, it just kind of like, hey.
Go find Strider.
Yeah, like...
I was always curious how they met, but I really didn't need it.
No, it felt like it was there.
He could have just said, go in that general direction, and I would have been like, oh, that's probably where he met Strider. They didn't have to call it out.
There's a young, what's Strider's race? I know he's like... Dúnedain?
Dúnedain Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he acknowledged there was like more than just him, or it wasn't like Lord of the Rings.
There is.
I know, like, because it wasn't like you telling me. I haven't read the actual Lord of the Rings books, but like the Two Towers, it wasn't the elves that showed up. It was like Dúnedain Rangers that showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And like, but in like,
that helps deep, yeah.
Yeah, but in like the Lord of the Rings, the movies, like you just kind of get this feeling like Strider's the only one.
Yeah, that's kind of like set it up.
But like at the end of,
I think it makes a little sense, because if you say there's like whole people that's actually in line to be king, and Aragorn somehow is the one that's special enough to be king. I mean, I guess his lineage was a little bit more closer to the actual king, so I guess he was technically kind of the first in line. But if you say there's a whole bunch of people, it kind of takes away his like
specialness.
Yeah, like he could die and you'd be like,
we got another one.
Yeah, I guess you're up next, dude. Sweet. So I kind of understand why they got rid of it. I mean, it doesn't take away from anything. It just kind of acknowledges this.
I don't know, but it took him a long time to like say he was like Dúnedain. I think it was still like the Two Towers, and he was talking to a girl, and they were, who was he talking with? Like they kind of like exposed his age.
Yeah, that was an extended edition.
Yeah.
I forget her name off the top of my head. And then Lord of the Rings names are hard to remember. They're all like Nordic names. Tolkien was a teacher of language.
Yes, he was.
He really liked to put that in the book. Show off. I mean, they kind of mentioned it, I think, in the Fellowship thing. It was a Dúnedain Ranger. So they kind of said that there were other ones, but they didn't really go into great detail about it.
They made it seem like it was very scarce, though.
They were, yeah. That's very true. They were very scarce. There wasn't very many left at all. And Helm's Deep did not help. There's a lot of them died. But yeah, I think just the kind of like in the Battle of Three Armies, if they just simply said, go in that general direction, find a Dúnedain Ranger, they didn't have to name drop. Like, his name was Strider. If you want his real name, you have to blow him or something. They didn't have to do all that. I kind of was like, okay. Yeah, if you did just said Legolas is going off, I probably would have just assumed like, oh, that's where he's gonna meet Aragorn, probably. Yeah, they're gonna be buddies for 100 years. Cool. Or 70 years or whatever it was.
I think it was 60.
Yeah, I think it was 60. You see. And I really like that scene with what's her face and the dwarf guy too.
The one where she's healing him, or the one where she's talking to him in the cells, or
the one where they're on the mountaintop
when he's dying and stuff. Yeah,
that sucked. That was good.
No. I did like when the king. Again, I don't know why, but the king really grew on me at the end. Like when he came and kind of comforted her a little bit.
Yeah,
and I was like, that was really nice.
Yeah,
like he gets it.
Yeah.
And now she understands him a little bit.
He's a fucking asshole, but at first he's like, you guys are not in love. And then at the end he's like, oh yeah, my bad, you guys totally were in love. I'm not really good at this.
That's how you grow. Like, You admit your faults and then you
He
move
didn't even
on.
get what he came for.
No, that's just like Thorn went crazy. Dude.
Oh yeah, Thorn went fucking nuts.
Like insane.
It happened in the book too. That's crazy. Yeah.
Damn,
It's
Arkenstone.
King of the Longbeards.
King.
Even the last scene with him and Bilbo. Like line for line, that's how it went down. Even though it was kind of like, he's like, look, the Eagles. It's like, well, he's fucking dying. He doesn't fucking care about them. And Frodo got knocked out, and everything happened the way it was supposed to.
A lot of dwarves died.
Yeah. Well, I remember when Dorn's cousin came out and it was like, and I could not place the actor for the life of me. I guess it's one of the Mike Python guys.
I don't know.
But a lot of people were like, and I was like,
what?
Who is it? He's British.
Should I know who this is?
Okay. I was like, really? I was like, for as long as I thought it might have been like that talk show guy. The one in like Dragons. How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, Craig Ferguson? He's
Yeah,
Scottish.
Yeah. I thought it might have been him, and I was like, no. I think I would have heard about that. He doesn't look like him. I was like confused because people were gasping in the audience, and I was like, who is it? I can't tell.
It's an odd feeling when Jason's not the biggest nerd in the room.
I'm not a big Python fan, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but you would still you're that guy that would just like, even if you're not a fan of it, you're like, oh yeah, I know this.
I know it now. I don't know everything off the bat. It takes some time to get your research and stalk people and get all the information.
When the dwarves showed up, even like his cousin, was he CGI? 'Cause he looked really CGI-y to me. I don't know why.
All the dwarves, or
Well, like
just
even him on the boar or the ram or whatever he was riding on, like he looked really CGI.
I'm fairly confident that he was probably resting comfortably on a green pillow, and then how much they embellished around him. Like, I don't know if he was wearing a cape or not. You know what I mean? Like,
He had the helmet and stuff on, but
yeah, I'm sure his costume was all legit.
No, he looked
Because he got off the thing at one point, was fighting on the field. I'm sure the Weta Workshop would not. I know this one was like a lot more CGI heavy than the last movies were, like the Lord of the Rings. But they did still make a lot of costumes and sets and stuff. So I don't think he was, but I'm sure the Borg was. So he was probably.
And just like when he showed up on the board, it was. He reminded me of the dwarf from the World of Warcraft vignettes I would have.
Mm-hmm.
It was very close to that one for
Yeah.
me. I was like, I don't know if I like that.
I thought it was cool.
I didn't say it wasn't cool. I just didn't like how he looks very CGI. Like, it kind of took me out of it for a little bit.
I think the whole movie kind of looked like they really went over it heavily with the.
It felt very pretty for something that should've been
CGI
kinda pretty.
brush. Yeah, they glossed it up.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like a painting. I think that might have been what they're going for, to make it similar to the Lord of the Rings, but not the same. And I got that kind of feeling, especially during that battle sequence. I was like, okay, they totally want this to look different than that, so they're separate, but you could still watch them all and be like, oh, okay, yeah, they all fit.
How bad are orc fighters in this thing? Like, because they seem to get dropped by everything.
Some of them are good. Some
Yeah,
are better than others.
A few of them, but it just feels like in every movie, like, you have like this massive horde of orcs and like these smaller
they don't
like
really
groups, and they just get like slaughtered in like the tens.
Well, I think generally orcs by nature, especially in the books, they're cowards. They live in caves, and they rather like creep up behind you in the dark and stab you in the back and kill you that way. But Sauron, his power over them doesn't really necessarily give him courage, but they do what he says. So they will blindly go into battle and just start swinging. And a few of them are good fighters and excel in it, and they have like bloodlust. But generally they're all cowards. So they're like, I think the tactic there is we'll just kill them with numbers, because they have ridiculous amounts of numbers. And it's just, if you got like a billion things coming at you with swords, I don't care how good you are, you're going to take out a few, but you're not getting all of them. You're going down. And any of those, like Saruman, when he made his orcs, was such a big deal because he improved upon a broken recipe. He made them, he gave them like the ability to move in daylight without being
burned,
blinded. Well, they don't necessarily get burned by daylight. They just don't like it. They don't operate. It's too bright for them.
Yeah, the light sensitivity.
Yeah. And he made them stronger and more skilled. And
the Orcai or
the Orcai, yeah.
Orcai, that's what they're called.
Orcai, something like that. Yeah.
Good movies.
Yeah, really good movies.
I do want, like, because when Peter Jackson did his little intro and stuff, he did the why you guys sit and watch all 6 movie kind of challenge. I want to do that now. Like when all the extended versions come out, just take 2 days off and just watch them back to back to back to back to back to back.
Because you said something about that before. I was like, I'll probably do that anyway. Just on, if I have a day off and I'm writing or something, it's just good background music noise. Because I've done that before with the first 3. I'll just put them in, and then when they're over with, I'll be like sticking in the extended like special features and stuff like that, and just watching it over and over again. I've done that before, so I was like, because you're saying it like, oh, that'd be kind of fun. I was like, I'll probably end up doing that anyway. Like, I actually had to sell it off, because when we were going to the 9-hour thing, I was like, oh, what a day, I want to watch The Hobbit. Oh wait, no, don't watch The Hobbit, don't watch The Hobbit. And I was like, for like a week or two, I was like not watching The Hobbit or the Desolation of Smaug.
So you didn't get like burned out on
it? Yeah, because I would just be like, oh yeah.
You just sleep for the first 2 movies.
I probably should have just watched them anyway.
You watch them once or twice, no big deal.
Well, I normally, on a everyday basis, I'll probably just stick them in anyway, so, and just watch them.
I don't really watch
very quotable movies.
I don't really watch a lot of movies anymore. Like,
I'm always watching something.
I don't know. I don't have my TVs on as much as I normally do. Like, I do better stuff when it's quiet.
Yeah, I'm not good like that. Yeah. Quiet drives me nuts.
I enjoy the quiet. It's peaceful.
I enjoy the quiet if I'm going to sleep. Yeah.
I've had people like they have like the only way they can go to sleep is they have to have like a fan like on high blowing on them.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
I could not do that.
Just I don't.
The noise of the fan would keep me up.
Yeah, I actually do that too. I don't have it blowing on me, but I have it facing upwards. Like, it's nice when it's hot, but because I don't have air conditioning. But like right now, I just have it pointing upwards in the room on like low, but that nice ambience.
The white noise.
Yeah, the white noise puts me to sleep.
No, I need like perfect silence.
Watch some ASMR videos and.
Some what?
ASMR videos.
ASMR?
ASMR.
AMSR.
Yeah. It's a thing where you're if you I don't know. Some people have it and some people don't. So like explaining it to like people that don't have it, they don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But like when the internet came out, because I thought that too when I was little, because I had it ever since I was little. Like, it's the thing. If you do have it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's a thing where if you're watching something or experiencing something, like someone can be talking a certain way, or you're doing something a certain way, or looking at music or painting, and your head starts to tingle. It just kind of relaxes you, and it's really weird. It's a whole other kind of sensation of like pleasure. It's not like sexual or anything like that, but it's really relaxing and it's just calming.
I think I understand why you like movies so much now.
I don't get it through some movies. Some movies trigger it. Other movies don't. Certain dialogue and stuff like that. But there's ASMR videos and it's really stupid. But if you watched one, you'd be like, "This is totally fucking dumb." And I'm not saying all of them work, but some of them do. So it's just a relaxing thing. I'll watch it before bed. It really puts my brain in a nice little state, and then I'll pass out. It's what they're meant for. So.
Cool.
Yeah. You can look it up. It's a really weird phenomenon that people didn't even know existed, and when the internet existed, then people started talking about it, and then got a name, and people started looking into it and researching it. Now it's a thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the stuff that's happening like New York and Ferguson at all?
What's happening in New York and Ferguson?
I thought you said something to me about it. It was like they got those protests for like those guys, the black guys that got killed by the cops, and they just had those 2 cops that got ambushed and shot in their car. Like last week.
I wasn't talking about that.
Huh?
I wasn't talking about that.
Oh, so
someone else was.
A lot of people.
It's really
all.
It's all really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
The only thing I can say in conclusion to all of that is police officers probably should start wearing cameras on them, or something like a GoPro on them.
Yeah, just a little camera on their chest.
And like people said, it keep people safe from cop brutality, and it keep cops safe from people accusing them of shit they didn't do. It's a double whammy.
Well, they've been talking about that for years, though. When they do that,
They should just make it mandatory. I mean, they want to spend all the tax money on a cappuccino machine.
That's not really tax money. It's civil fortitude or fort.
Well, I'm just saying, if they want to spend money on stuff, I would let them get that. That's totally
get something that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's about the only conclusion I can come with that, because I mean, say either way, you're gonna piss somebody off about it. The cops are in the wrong because they're all assholes, or the people are wrong because they should obey the law. Yeah, it comes down to it's like such a. Well, yeah, in some situations that's correct, in some other situations that's correct.
Gray areas.
Yeah, it's really gray. It depends on the circumstances. Some cops are complete fucking assholes, and they abuse their power. Some people are fucking complete assholes and don't obey the law.
Yeah. Well, I was not upset because they didn't indict the Officer Wilson or whatever his name was from Ferguson. They didn't indict him, but like when all the facts came out about that, like so many people lied about their testimony and their eyewitness accounts were like just falsified.
Who did the investigation?
Was the state?
Was it the state? Yeah, see, that's where I would say that was probably not a good decision, because I think that it was such a high profile case. It should probably got like an outside source to investigate. Like someone else should have stepped in and said, "Well, we're gonna check the facts here," because then there couldn't have been any kind of
agenda.
Hidden agenda or anything like that.
Like when it all came out, like the Michael Brown kid, like not even like an hour or so before, he'd robbed a liquor store and stuff, and then like he like when the Officer Wilson tried to stop him or whatever, he like came over to the car and was like berating the cop and like.
Isn't there like an audio tape of that too?
I think so. Like yeah.
I think I've heard that too.
Like there's stuff out there like he didn't just like, oh, black guy, shoot him. You know, he tried to get him to stop, but the kid was being a punk. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry for your loss, but the kid was being a little shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to say people deserve to die, but there were numerous ways this could have ended.
Well, I mean,
without him getting shot.
I remember when I was back in high school, there was this crazy lady who lived here in the town we lived in,
I remember
and
that.
she got shot and killed by one of the officers in town.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people in high school was like, "Well, why didn't he shoot her in the knees?"
He did.
Well, I didn't think he did.
His name Lemon was his name. He was friends with my family and stuff, and he ended up getting like kicked off the force and shit. Because
I think he just left. What I understood.
He was forced out because there was so much scrutiny against him. But this lady was like whacked out on like.
She came out with a knife.
Yeah, like she was whacked out of her mind.
Well, that's why I tell people: the cops aren't trained to shoot you in the legs or the arms. They're trained to shoot you in the chest to kill you.
Most efficient.
Yeah. Because it's a bigger target. They're not trained to shoot you in the head.
But like, he did shoot her in the leg though, and she kept coming because she was so like roided out on crap that she didn't feel it, and he was freaked. I talked to him because I was like 12, I think.
I'm surprised you got a leg shot in the dark though. But I was just saying, like, that's what I told people. Like, they don't.
It was meant to be like a warning shot, and he hit her, and it just made her mad. And then
I also tell people, I was like, you can't really, if you're coming at a cop in a threatening manner, they're trained to kill you. They're not trained to wound you. So don't come at them in a threatening manner. Like, they're not going to like shoot you in the foot and like calm the fuck down. They're gonna just fucking straight up kill you. Like, don't do that. It's just they have a gun anyway. That's just already not.
Don't be dumb. Like,
yeah.
Like,
don't be a punk like that. Yeah.
People get mad like, oh, they shot and killed him. How dare they? It's like, right, yeah, but he was threatening him. Like, it wasn't like the cop was like, hey, you, what are you doing?
I think I've heard they don't do this, but if you run from a cop, they can shoot you. Like, they don't have to run after you. They're just being nice that they're running after you. They don't have to run after you. They can shoot you.
A lot of them don't want to shoot.
Yeah. I was gonna say
whether it's because like they just don't want to shoot you, or because you got a lot of paperwork once you discharge your weapon. There's a lot of paperwork you gotta go.
Well, I want to honestly say and give them the benefit of the doubt and say they don't want to shoot you because they are afraid they're gonna shoot somebody else in a public setting, too.
Yeah. Collateral damage, not worth it.
Yeah. But when you run away from the cop, they don't have to chase after your ass. The whole point is they can shoot you in that moment of you taking off. So even like in that situation with the Craig Ferguson thing, even if he was running away from him, he's still like.
He's able to do that.
Yeah, he's still able to do that. It's like my whole point was like.
Well, everyone else was getting pissed off. Like, oh, he was on his knees and his hands were up, and like, no, because when they did the autopsy, the dude was standing. Like,
I did, but it was like messed up. Is like after that happened, it was another cop. I actually watched the dash court video of it, and this is where he was in the wrong, where he pulled over a car, and he got him in like the gas station area. And he's like, get out of the vehicle. And the guy got out of the vehicle. He goes, give me your wallet. Or give me your ID. And the guy reached back in his car. And he's like, don't reach in your car. And he shot him. He started opening fire. He hit him in the hip. And the guy like fell to the ground. He's like, put your hands up. He's like, why are you shooting me? You can go look this video up too. He's like, why are you shooting me? He's like, you reached in your vehicle. He's like, you told me to get my license. It's in the car.
That was dumb.
Yeah, he got indicted and he got kicked off the force for that action.
As he should.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Because that's just... The guy wasn't even in a threatening manner or anything like that. He was black. But, yeah, that's...
Because that's oh so threatening.
Yeah, that's totally... That's where it's wrong. But... And the Craig Ferguson thing, I wish it was a video. It would help his case out. Like, it's just so up in the air. And that's just like what I'm saying. Like, if they have cameras on them, it makes shit like this not so debatable or riot worthy or anything like that. It's
certifiable.
Yeah. We could see what happened. And like, oh, no.
Well, that's where like I was upset about the New York case because the guy he got choked out and stuff. Like,
I did see that video. Yeah, it was fucked up.
Like, oh yeah, he's resisting arrest. Like, what he did was he put his hands in the air and then they swarm him.
Yeah, I know.
And when he's fighting for, resisting arrest or whatever they want to call it, when he's trying to breathe, no, like, those motherfuckers should have been indicted, because, like, there was no excuse for that.
No, that was
and, like,
totally...
I was flipping through the news channels, and fucking Fox News, fuck you guys, you're assholes and you're ignorant. I'm just, every one of you are fucking stupid, especially Sean Hannity. If I see you, I want to kick your ass, I really do.
Can you really call it news or propaganda?
No, it
is pop.
It's a fear machine, is what it is.
It's not really news.
No,
because they're making up a lot of this shit.
Yeah. Well, they're like everything that happened between Ferguson.
I'm just saying, is there a better name we can give Fox News, unofficially, than Fox News? Because that just seems wrong. It's like saying
it's
Happy Hitler.
It's degrading. It's degrading the news, really. Like, I almost feel bad for it.
It's like Fox shit. I don't know. I'm not really good.
Fear anything that's not white America Christian.
Oh, I don't fit under. You gotta get something that'll fit in the tag, like a little
Fox News instead of Fox News.
Fox lie.
Fox inaccuracy.
Yeah, inaccuracy. Fox whatever the fuck we say.
No, that really fits. It's a little more than one word.
It is. I don't know.
I just hate. But I was flipping through channels, and they were talking about what happened in New York, about how the cops didn't do anything wrong. And he's like, it was a big guy, blah 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 blah, all this fucking shit. And it's like he was big. I'll give him that. But did it take 5 cops? Because he was selling like loose cigarettes. He was selling like cigarettes by the cigarette, and it was like.
I mean, it wasn't like he was not committing a crime.
No, what he was doing, he shouldn't have been doing. Mm-hmm. I have no problem saying that.
But at no point in that video was he resisting arrest, or was even
being uncompliant.
Yeah,
it's just like
he put his hands up, they tackled him down and choked him out.
Yeah, that's
not cool. Like, I mean, I could understand if he was swinging or was trying to get away.
But none of that happened.
None of that happened. No.
And it's not
they fucking just straight up murdered a guy.
And it's not like in Ferguson where it's like he said this or she said that. Like, there is fucking video of what happened, and the fact that they didn't get indicted on anything.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Bullshit.
Is that getting
I think federal was going to come in, but I haven't heard anything about it because it kind of got overlooked by the massive amount of protests. Like, if you're going to protest, like Ferguson, you guys did it wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
some people did it right.
Just throwing it. Like, when you started rioting and burning shit, and the police in Ferguson, you reacted wrong.
I wouldn't say everybody acted wrong. There were people, even the ones that were trying to protest peacefully, were trying to get the other people under control. I mean, it's just. Some people just
escalated from 0 to 10.
Yeah, some people just took advantage of the situation. Was like, oh, I'm gonna get me a fucking PlayStation 4.
Well, like they were doing peaceful protests, and then the police like opened in on them, and then it was after that they started rioting.
It just got bad real quick. Yeah,
it reminds me a lot of California, like Los Angeles in the '90s after the Rodney King thing.
Yeah.
But like in New York, like you guys are doing it right. Like you're walking around. You're just we don't want people to kill us anymore. Like you're being very peaceful, respectful. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And the cops are being pretty nice about it. They're not like
no, all cops are assholes.
No, they're not. No. So then like when those 2 cops got ambushed in their car, which they ended up finding out who the guy was, and like he was apparently this motherfucker has like numerous like felonies and just but he was arrested like 2 years ago for like an assault charge or something like that, like, and he has a long history of mental illness. Like, this dude should not have been walking around like he should have been locked up somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everything's overcrowded anyway, so that's a whole other problem.
I get that, but like if you're gonna lock somebody up, whether it's like in a mental, I'm not saying like put him in prison.
I'm not even saying that either.
Like,
I'm just saying
if you put him like in a psychiatric place where he can get like treatment,
those are fucking pretty crowded too.
Somewhere where this dude could get help, because he was nuts. And when he's like posting on like Twitter and Instagram, like they took one of ours, let's take 2 of theirs. I was like, it's not really a scoreboard, buddy.
Some people just they see a situation like that and they just see an opportunity to take advantage of it. That's all I see there. They're not even in it for the protest. They're just in it to like make a point or get free shit, and they just make everybody else look bad that's trying to do it right. And I can't even blame all the protesters for that, because it was, even in Ferguson, it was a lot of people that were trying to do it right, and other people just. And I understand people are upset.
It's a tense situation.
It's a tense situation, but yeah, there's some things you got to handle a certain way, and it sucks. But in the long run, hopefully, it gets results. But
I don't know. Everyone's getting all like, "What can I have one?" Fox insert
see, I don't even
something here.
See, as long when like, what's that asshole's name?
Sean Hannity.
No,
Bill O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly. When you go back and when he like. When his interviews don't go the way he wants and he shuts people down or he looks like an asshole.
He just bullies them.
Yeah. That's when I was like, oh, Fox News is like that? Fox
I
News.
actually enjoy watching like his interviews with people who don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like when him and Jon Stewart go at it, it's just magic.
Yeah.
I love it. Like, and then like the one where like the one with the kid whose dad died in 9/11.
Yeah.
And he was like, let's not go to war. He's like, you're disgracing your dad. And like, you don't know anything about my dad. Like, he's yelling at this kid about something that...
He wasn't even yelling back. He was
just
very
what's
calm.
going on? And then he got, like, kicked out of the studio and stuff. Like, that's security that's bullshit.
It is. So that's what I was like, I don't know. I just boycott it. That's the only way you can hurt them is when their wallet.
Yeah, but the people who watch it aren't you and me. It's
I know.
The older people who are like...
But I mean, like, when you hear something funny and everybody's got to go check it out, it kind of gives them some kind of power, I feel like. Because that's what they want. They want the attention.
That's the same thing, like, when, like... Because they released the name of the guy who killed the cops, like...
Yeah.
I want you to stop doing that.
They ain't gonna stop.
You don't need to do, like, when something like that happens, like, for, like, all the like, people who do the school shootings, they always release who did it. That's how they get off.
Yeah.
Like that was their goal. Essentially you say you don't give in to terrorism. Mm-hmm. Once you do that, you did. Like, just say like, this happened, and then just like ignore the person who did it. Like, I'm not saying like don't put it in like official records or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you don't let people know who it is, they don't get that satisfaction of it.
Yeah. It's a fucked up world.
Because then they become famous. Because you got like John Wilkes Booth and Harvey Oswald and stuff like that.
Did you have any feelings on the whole interview debacle?
I was torn. Because one, I'm not like I was like I want to see it, just because I like James Franco, and it did seem like a good like just sit and just good movie kind of movie. Mm-hmm. But I hate Seth Rogen, so I was like, I don't really want to see it. But then like they caved. And everyone's making this like a big like national America thing. Yeah. Like, it makes all of us look weak. And it's like, it'd be one thing if like the government was like, alright, yeah, we're not gonna do this because North Korea scares us. That's not what happened. No. Sony is a private company based out of Japan. Yeah. Not America, Japan. And they're the ones like, yeah, we're not doing this because they have so many threats against them and so much fucking shit.
They live a lot closer.
Yeah. They're more immediate danger than we are.
Yeah.
So like we can sit back behind our giant walls of whatever fuck we got, and we're just like, oh yeah, fucking break North Korea. In Japan, who was like right there, is like, oh, let's not make them mad. That was a horrible accent.
That's racist. I mean, I can understand if Sony got kind of pressured at some point and was like, you know what, let's just sell to another studio, like.
Well, they actually...
Hey, Universal, do you want to pick up this... You don't give a fuck about the rest of the world. How about you guys, like...
But no, like, everyone's, like even, like, I was working with someone... where I worked out, I was talking to somebody about it, and he was going off about how, like, they gave in to terrorism, they're pussies, like, they shouldn't be doing this. Like, right, but are you in their situation? Like... Is someone threatening your life? Like, because the CEO or whatever, like the head guy of Sony, has gotten so many death threats, and like the threat of bombing like theaters across the United States. Yeah. Like, I understand why they pulled it. I get it. They're thinking they're gonna do it for like safety reasons, just out of the threats alone. Because people get mad because like if you knew the situations are going to happen in 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they should have stopped it. This is the same fucking thing. You're just getting like the threats like out in the open.
Yeah.
And so when they were stopping, it's like, oh, you just gave in. And it was like, all right, so at like 9/11, if you knew that was going to happen, you'd be like, all right, guys, no one in there. It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
And you're taking two different stands against it? Like, that's bullshit.
It is a very itchy one. Because I can totally see where Japan's coming out on that. But at the same time, fuck Kim Jong-il. Fuck his dictatorship.
Oh, no, I agree with you entirely on that.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that asshole. He's a
I mean,
prick.
don't give him a fucking... Because, like, I just imagine he's sitting in his fucking really nice mansion, looking outside.
He's got a palace, not a mansion. He's got a
palace, yeah. Looking outside to his, like, torn-ridden fucking country with
nothing
poor
but
people sitting in the streets reading on the internet that Sony fucking canceled the movie. And he fucking smiled.
Probably.
Fuck him.
Probably.
He doesn't deserve that fucking smile. And that's what kind of pisses me off about it. And then you look, the tragic thing for me is, I didn't think the movie looked that good. I wasn't going to go see it. I didn't really care. I was like, I'll see some reviews and I'll get an insight. Because I don't like Seth Rogen either. I don't think he's that funny.
No, really.
But I did like Pineapple Express.
Like, he's been in good movies.
Yeah, he's in good movies. And him and James Franco. Yeah, James Franco. They make a nice little couple. And I think they know that too, because they've been in a lot of things together. And I think they realize that, hey, somehow this works. We actually make one good, decent performance together.
Well, James Franco's good on his own, though. Like,
he can be
128 hours or whatever.
I think when he's like, I'm not going to do pot until the end of the shoot, I think he's pretty damn good.
Yeah. He
pulls it together. Like, his earlier stuff was really good. It was when Seth Rogen was introduced to his life, and he's like,
Freaks and Geeks.
Well, yeah, I guess they were introduced a long time ago.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess it just seemed like Franco was like, I'm going to do all the pot in the world. I got a handle on it.
Back.
What's the Oscars tonight? I can do a bag of pot and go to the Oscars. It'd be fine.
Who do you do that with?
Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
She was pissed. You see, she's not even a good enough actor to hide that fucking level of pissness. That anger. Oscars was fucking great, man. I never laughed so... Billy Crystal had nothing on James Franco at the Oscars. I laughed so hard. Oh, it was so good. But I didn't even want to see that movie. It didn't look that good. And I was just going to see what the reviews said, and maybe they see a funny clip or two. Because that's kind of what happened with This Is the End. I didn't think that looked that good, and I've seen some funny clips, and I'm like, okay, maybe that ain't that bad. I haven't seen it yet, but it doesn't look that bad to me now afterwards. But what initially the trailers and stuff, I was like, But I was going to wait on The Dictator, or The Interview. I don't know why I want to call that The Dictator. That's a whole other movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but... Yeah, and the whole thing just kind of pisses me off, because it's like... But I understand. I understand Japan's fear on that, because it's not the same as ours.
They did, I don't know if it was this morning or yesterday or the day
before. They are going to release it. Yeah.
They're doing it like independent theaters or whatever, so it is getting released. It's just... It's not going to be like...
Not like it was. No. They're losing money.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah. Like, they were going to be out like, almost like $500 million or something like that.
Yeah.
It was a lot. And they were just like, oh, nope.
Yeah.
Which to me speaks like they value human life more than that, which is nice out of a corporation. You don't get that very often.
I don't really see it like that. I think they're just kind of covering their own asses on that.
You could look at that, but I like to think about it on the positive side. What are you looking at?
Oh, well, one of the bands is off the...
Oh, it is. Yeah.
We're looking at the mic. One of the rubber bands that hold mics. If you don't know, rubber bands hold mics up so they don't
fall.
Well, I think it's more for sound, so it doesn't vibrate and make an extra noise. But one of the rubber bands is off the hook, and I was like staring at the mic the whole time, and like, why does this look weird? And I just realized, I was like, oh, the rubber band's off.
Dude,
It threw me off of my whole thing I was saying.
You can see it. It's literally right in front of me. I didn't even notice it until you said something.
But
I'm very unobservant, though.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing it out of respect of other humans' life. I think they're doing it out of their own fear, because they had that massive hack.
Oh yeah, and like a lot of stuff came
Yeah,
out.
like the whole Spider-Man shit got out.
Oh fuck.
Garfield.
There you go. You got it right this time.
Yeah, he fucked up bad. In a good way, but he's out of a job.
He was honest. Like when you get punished for being honest.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess if people don't know, they are rebooting Spider-Man again, but it's all going to be in
Marvel
now. But Garfield's out.
Now, are they introducing Spider-Man through Captain America, or are they just going to have a Spider-Man movie and it's just going to tie in?
They're gonna, though, from what I understand, they're gonna reintroduce him in the the third Captain America movie. That's not due out till like 2017.
It's a long way away.
And then Spider-Man's gonna be in the next Avengers movie. Not this one's coming out, but
the third one.
Yeah, which I don't know what it's called.
I don't know.
And he's going to have his reboot movie in between there, I think. So get ready to hear about Uncle Ben getting shot.
Again.
And how with great power comes great responsibility. And
again. How
he gets bit by a radioactive spider. If you didn't know already, he gets bit by a radioactive spider and becomes.
I hope they just skip the origin part, or if they do it, have it be like in a 5-minute little sequence in the beginning, and just have him being a Spider-Man.
No, they're not going to do that because they already said they're rebooting, and rebooting means you have to go.
But they already know.
Yeah.
Like in the last 15 years, we've had 5 Spider-Man movies, 2 of which were origin movies. Mm-hmm. Plus, we have numerous amounts of TV shows about Spider-Man, like we had the Amazing Spider-Man, the Ultimate Spider-Man. We had the what was the other one? Oh, it was back in early 2000s.
Apparently,
so many Spider-Mans.
You don't know enough.
Unless you're just now becoming age 7. You've never heard of Spider-Man.
You don't know, Tad.
I do know. I do know.
Marvel doesn't think you know.
So I didn't even read Spider-Man comic books.
You have to be retold again.
I do know.
About Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane.
But they didn't even have Gwen Stacy until was she in the first one of the Tobey Maguire ones? I don't remember if she was.
She's in the third one.
Yeah, yeah. They started off with Mary Jane in that one. Cause I didn't know anything about Gwen Stacy. I'll be honest about that.
I always thought that was weird. Did you ever think that was weird? How in the very first Spider-Man movies we had the girl playing Mary Jane Watson.
She was the natural blonde, and they dyed it red.
What's her name? I forget her name. I love that actress.
Kristen Dunst.
Yeah, Kristen Dunst. I love her. She's so good. Yeah, we had a natural blonde playing a redhead, and then we get Gwen Stacy, who's
a natural redhead playing a blonde.
Yeah, playing a blonde.
She was fantastic, though.
She's a good actress too.
I enjoy my Emma Stone.
Yeah, Emma Stone's not bad. I think she's better in comedic. I've never seen her. Well, I have. She's tried some serious stuff, and I don't think she's that good.
I don't know. The only parts in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 I actually liked were with.
I think I'm just always waiting for Emma Stone to say something funny, and when she's something serious, I'm like, "Oh, it's not happening." Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just how. That's the world works.
Crazy shit.
But that third Captain America movie would be pretty good because the last one was pretty tight.
If it just keeps going up and up.
Iron Man's going to be in that one too, so.
I don't know.
So super robot Spider-Man suit.
So is Iron Man done after this Avengers, and then he's going to be in Captain America? I think only 2 or 3 movies left that he was going to be in.
He's in the last Avengers movie. He signed the contract for all 3 Avengers.
So it'll be Avengers 2, Captain America 3, Avengers 3.
Hey, it's not that he's done. He's just holding out for more money. He's pulling the whole.
I thought he went on an interview saying, "I want to stop before I get too old. I won't be that old guy trying to live on to
Yeah, I feel like that's probably truth, but if you're gonna throw money at him, he's gonna be like, how much to CG my ass in a fucking Iron Man costume? Because he's not worn the fucking suit since the first movie.
See, if I was gonna be a superhero movie, or even just being a superhero in general, I don't know where the fucking costume. That's the whole point. Like,
have you ever seen like Iron Man 2 behind the scenes when they like the battle scene when they fought all the
robots?
The robots?
No, I didn't really
care. Him and the other guy. I can't remember his name. Don Johnson.
Don Cleese? No.
It's Don something. But him and Robert Downey Jr. are he's wearing a black suit with the markers on it for the tracking for the special effect. Robert Downey Jr. is wearing a red suit with the tracking for the special effect. And they're just wearing the overlay of the mask. So not even the front part. It's just the shell. And then they're just jumping around. They're not even jumping around. That's all CGI. They don't even have that. It's just for the scenes when they're showing their faces. So, yeah, Robert, he doesn't even have to go to work. Like, he just has to be there to be Tony Stark. Be Tony Stark in, like, a black room with some flashlights pointing at his face. And they'll CGI all the graphics on. And that's it. And a couple scenes where he's got to put the mask up. So it's not like his argument about being an old guy in a superhero movie is kind of redundant because he doesn't have to fucking really do anything.
It's not like Hugh Jackman.
Unless he has to. Unless I think like in the third Iron Man movie, he might have felt like, can I just do some flat flips outside the suit for a while? Like, is that cool? Can I do that? They're like, yeah, we can work around that. We can have a whole scene with you out with not even having the suit on. You're like, thank you. I can act in a movie. Because I mean, a lot of that, like, I don't think people realize that, and it's really rare if the actor's the one in the suit, especially if you're covering their face. Like, well, I guarantee you, Christian Bale was not always in the Batman suit. Garfield was not always in the Spider-Man suit, and fuck, I know for a fact Robert Downey Jr. was not always in the Iron Man suit. A lot of it was just CGI.
Captain America.
Yeah, it's Stunt Double too. I'm sure he did some of it.
I like Chris Evans. He grew on me. Like, when? Just think of like the Captain America movies. I remember watching him like the Fantastic Four movies. Yeah. I was just kind of like,
That was a hard transition for me at first.
And like the first movie, I was like, he seemed very preachy, but like as the movie went on,
I think fucking Push really fucking killed him for me. He's redeemed himself since then, but when they said he was gonna be Captain America, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Did you guys watch Push? That fucking movie sucked. Because that's all I could see when I was like thinking of Captain America. It wasn't even Human Torch. It was fucking Push. And then I was like, okay, the first Captain America movie. I was like, all right, he pulled it off.
Not bad.
Yeah, he's not bad.
And the second one comes out, and you're like, okay, good job.
I think after the Avengers, I bought into it after that. So when the second one came out, I was just expecting. I don't know really what I was expecting. Something like the first one, but in modern day setting, it was really not what I was expecting. It was really good.
Well, I think it also kind of shows like if you care about because like, he really cares about Captain America. He's on an interview.
Well, he's got a paycheck for life.
Yeah. Well, not just that. I do things for money, but you can still see through it.
Yeah.
If you don't, if you're not emotionally invested.
Oh, I know he cares, but that's just like saying, I got a job I really like. And they're paying me big bucks to do it.
Like, this is awesome.
Yeah, you guys are set. I'll be Captain America forever. If you guys want me to.
Hugh Jackman.
He's a good one. He's really dedicated to that part too.
Yeah. He was the one pushing for like the individual Wolverine movie, like the origin one. Not the original one, but the one who's in Japan. Origins sucked.
Too bad that wasn't that great either. But
I actually have not watched that one. That's
it's
like
not bad. It's not bad.
It's the only X-Men movie I haven't watched.
And that's what really hurt it too, because not everybody watched it. Because I think they were just so sore about the fucking Wolverine Origins that they didn't want to see another bad Wolverine movie. And it wasn't necessarily bad, but there were some things that was like, oh.
Well, like, I heard like the Silver Samurai wasn't actually the Silver Samurai.
No, he wasn't. It was another guy. He was in it. The guy who was supposed to be Silver Samurai was in it. And he got punked out. I think he might have died. I'm not sure. But the weird thing was, I'm pretty sure the Silver Samurai is a mutant in the comic books. I'm not 100% on that because I'm not really give a fuck about the Silver Samurai. I think he's a mutant. But he wasn't a mutant in the Wolverine movie. But this other chick who, oddly enough, worked for Red Skull, who was an assassin, was a mutant.
Lady Deathstroke or something like that? No, that's not it.
That green, she was wearing the green and Viper?
Yeah.
Viper. Yeah.
Lady Hydra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think her name was Viper too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's both.
Yeah.
But I don't think they had the rights to like Lady Hydra because it's.
But why not? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Because
she's not a mutant. She never was. But they made her a mutant in the Wolverine movie. But then it pissed me off because I'm like, oh, so there was secondary class people in the Hydra thing that could have been in the Captain America movie? Because that was like my thing was like in that third act.
I thought he had other like.
Yeah,
like
underlings. I thought he did too. I was pretty sure he did. But, you know, like, I didn't like Captain America comic books, so I don't really know. I just remember hearing shit like that. But then I'm like, so he could have had underlings fight Captain America.
Yeah.
Instead of just run down a hallway on a bike.
Montage.
Yeah, you could have skipped a whole montage scene. You could have had, like, a decent fight scene, like another challenge for him that he had to overcome before getting to the main boss. What the fuck? So that kind of pissed me off. And then I didn't watch all of Wolverine. I just watched a lot of parts of it. Collective parts.
I watched the CinemaSins on
And
it.
yeah, I watched that too. The ending was like, oh. And then they changed the ending too because
They went to tie in with Days of Future Past.
yeah, and that pissed me off too because I liked the original ending because I actually had the Wolverine suit in it, and what was it, Bryan Singer, I think his name is, who directed the first two X-Men and did the Days of Future Past. Yeah. He didn't want to put Wolverine in the Wolverine suit, so he said get rid of it. That pissed me off because that guy has no idea anything about the X-Men. I mean, you guys can like those three X-Men movies all you like, but it's not X-Men. And for him to be like, I don't want to put Wolverine in the Wolverine costume, that's just like making a Batman movie and being like, no, he's got to be Bruce Wayne, obviously, the whole way through. Batman is just this dark persona that he melds into, but he's not going to wear the suit. He's not going to wear the suit. Get rid of the suit. People don't need to see Bruce Wayne in a Batman suit for him to be Batman. Jeez.
I'm always Batman. I'm always Iron Man.
Well, it pissed me off too because it's like they cut off his claws in the movie. Yeah.
His adamantium
Yeah.
claws? The indestructible metal claws?
Yeah. Because they had this giant samurai sword that could heat up.
I don't. Okay. Oh. Okay.
Yeah. And they needed to cut his claws off so they could drill into it to steal his healing factor. Yeah.
Wouldn't his healing factor be in his, like, DNA on his skin or in his blood? That
They needed to get to the bone. So, Yeah. Why you can't just cut off his... If you're going to cut anything off, why can't you cut his arms off? And yeah, again, you could say, well, his whole bones were adamantium. But I mean, if you had something that could cut through it, why did you have to cut through his claws anyway? Because that's where his powers are, I guess? Sure. This shit did not happen in that comic book. And if they just stick to the comic book 100%, it probably would have been a lot better movie. I mean, they did stick to it closely, and those parts are really good. But when they veered off in this whole, I need to steal Wolverine's healing factor so I can go young again bullshit, it was like, what? And I need to get into his bone marrow to get it. So I gotta make up this scientifically heat knife that can cut through adamantium.
If they had made that, wouldn't you think like the U.S. military would have eventually found out about it? It's like, oh, hey, Stryker.
Well,
and they get to fight Wolverine. Because they can just chop his head off and put him in itty bitty pieces.
No, because it's not indestructible. It's
I don't.
Clearly,
what I'm saying is,
it's
since
clearly,
they made this, would you not think at some point, like the U.S. government would have been like, oh,
well, I mean that's
they
just
have this awesome
that's just
sword
as
thing.
bad as saying if we have adamantium bullets, we can shoot Wolverine in the head. No, you can't do that, because if you have something that's indestructible and you have something else that's indestructible, and you shoot it at the other thing that's indestructible, nothing's going to happen. It's like, and no matter how much force you put behind it, they're still both indestructible. So you can't penetrate something that's indestructible with something that is also indestructible. That doesn't. That's not how.
Movie logic, though, man.
Comic book logic didn't even go that far.
Movie science, bro. Movie science. It's okay.
I mean, in the comic books, how they erased his brain, it was they just like electrocuted the shit out of him and scrambled his brain, and that's how they did it. And that made more sense. It's like, yeah, you put him under enough voltage, it's probably gonna fuck up something really bad. But yeah. So they cut his claws off. they start off by cutting one off in the movie, right? And you're like, well, he's still got the other set, and then they cut that one off, and then, well, I guess he's not Wolverine, because now he's got like, in they show it too, because it's all like hot from the thing, and he's got these little metal stubs sticking out of his wrist, and you're like, I guess he's not Wolverine anymore. He just cut his fucking claws off. Like, he's still got his skeleton, I guess, but
can he grow back?
Yeah, that's what happened.
Did it grow back?
Bone.
Oh. Okay, so like
the bone came out. The bone claw came out and grew back. The bone part came out.
So now does he have to like re-get the adamantium over his bones, or
see that? And now that's where it gets really confusing, because then the movie ends and he goes to the airport, and then Charles and Magneto are there. And then I guess they went to the war in the future. But then I'm like, so he didn't have his metal claws in the future. But then they have that part where he clearly cuts the shit out of Shadowcat with the metal claws. So now it's like, how do these two movies tie in together? Because he didn't have the metal claws anymore. They'll just put a hole in the whole fucking thing.
Well, I never watched the Wolverine film.
Yeah.
So maybe like when he like brings his bone claws back in, the adamantium from the rest of his bones like melds onto it. So when he like, ching.
Well, in the comic books, they MacGuffined it that all the iron in his blood was replaced by adamantium, and he could actually grow back his adamantium skeleton if it ever broke or anything like that. But at least they took the time to explain that in the comic books, or in the movies they didn't say anything about that shit.
Maybe they just hope you wouldn't notice.
Yeah. Just do a show called Broken Cinema. That was clearly a totally broken thing right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then he gets stuck in the. You didn't watch Days of Future Past?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did?
Me and Brent went and saw it in theater.
Oh.
Because you didn't want to go see it with us.
No.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty
good.
good.
And then he got cement blocked and then dropped in the river and then.
With the rhubarb and
Mystique got him out of the river.
I thought it was Stryker.
It was Stryker, but then they showed when he turned back to the camera, they showed his eyes were
Yellow. Oh.
And then he woke up in the future, and I don't know what the fuck. He doesn't know what the fuck either.
You would think. Like,
which is a good way to get rid of his memory, a better way to get rid of his memory, and reset the whole button because Gene's there and
Scott's back.
And we got
Kelsey
Frasier Beast back.
Kelsey Grammer.
It was better Frasier. Just imagine him on the radio show as Beast, talking to Seattle.
Good show. I like Frasier.
I wonder if anybody's done it like a cartoon skit where they just took like some audio from Frasier and had Beast in the radio booth. That'd be funny. Talking to Seattle. Good night, Seattle. Ugh. For like 1 second. I don't even know if that was worth Kelsey Grammer dressing up like Beast again. Fucking ugh. But then then I think even Professor X was even like in the floaty chair at that end part. He had like the hover chair.
I'd have to look it up. I don't remember what he was sitting in.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think we got through a lot of stuff today.
You want to end the podcast?
I don't know. What else you got to talk about? You got anything else?
I don't know. Without spoiling anything with like spoilers or anything like that.
We are getting close to time. We got like 5 minutes or so.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're about where we need to be, I guess.
Any projects you want to mention we're working on?
Same stuff as always, really.
Right. Well, I mean, like, just tell people like any like progress we've made. No.
No. Well, I don't know. I got.
We've made 0.
No, I got like two or three fairly completed episodes of Captain Cowboy written out. I guess that's something.
I always feel like I'm not making any progress, and then I kind of look back and I'm like, oh yeah, I did a lot of stuff.
Well, you're getting the armor pretty worked on.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
There's that.
I'm thinking about stuff to write
for Broken Cinema.
Yeah, but I haven't wrote anything down yet. But I'm thinking about it. I'm not thinking. There's other stuff I want to write too, but I haven't got around to it yet.
I've been totally like distracted by the holidays from doing anything really productive. Like,
oh really? Because
there's stuff like I know I need to do, but for some reason like this year I just got into like this really Christmassy spirit.
Literally the only thing that's distracting me from the holidays is I'm wishing they would be over quicker. It's like I'm like, oh, just fucking be over. I'm fucking tired of Christmas music. Because when like the day after Christmas, there's a fucking drop off, and nobody talks about Christmas anymore. It's like everybody's going to this big orgy, and they have like this incredible sex, and they drink, and they fuck all kinds of people they didn't want to fuck, and the next day they wake up and they're like, oh, I gotta get the fuck out of here, and nobody talks about it. And I love that day. I love that day of shame of like nobody wants to say anything about Christmas anymore. It's like, oh, I fucking hate Christmas so much.
I'm enjoying the Christmas music this year. I have lights up in my apartment this year.
You guys can't see it, but it's pretty pathetic.
It's just there.
It's very festive, I should say. That's my word for it.
Not really. Well, I thought I'd bought enough because I was gonna put more up there, and apparently my apartment's bigger than I thought it was. Cause I had like 100 feet worth of stuff.
Have some of your daughters around.
Yeah, I know. She got home and she saw those, and I plugged them in, and they glow.
Well, I mean, right. I can understand it. I mean, you have a child. That's a lot different than me. Never having children. I can see putting up the stuff and getting the hope up and stuff like that. Because I mean, if you deny it, then she goes to school, and people are like, "What'd you do for Christmas?" She's like, "What's that?" And they're like, make fun of her because she doesn't know what the fuck Santa Claus is, and she's like, "I don't even think that's real." And like in the end, it would make her cooler. Like, that's that badass chick. Don't fucking believe it's Christmas. It'd make her cooler in the end, but at first she'd just be criticized and made fun of for. So I get it. It's creating a wonderment for your child. Makes sense. I mean, along the other like pinkness that also envelops your place too.
Not that much pink.
A little bit of pink.
You got a little blanket, the guitar, card, blanket. I have more brown than anything else.
Yeah, there's a lot of wood paneling too. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Is it just a stereotype, or did you ever like think to raise her like without putting her in front of like that color?
What, pink?
And pink.
No, she chose it. Like I was gonna put her.
It wasn't influenced at all, like.
Not from me.
Oh yeah.
But like she when she was younger, we had blue sheets and yellow sheets and like when she got older and started letting her watch a little TV, she likes Doc McStuffins. So her bedding is Doc McStuffins. That's just a show she likes. So she got Doc McStuffins. She also wanted to get like SpongeBob sheets, and I was like, well, if you want, I guess.
I feel like if I ever had kids, I'm just gonna like have an experiment to see if I just showed them. If I just introduced them to stuff from the 80s, would they grow up with the mindset like me? If I just didn't like necessarily introduce them to the outside world, but just kept them in their own little world and like, what are we gonna watch today? Well, it's Saturday morning. We gotta watch Saturday morning cartoons, Ninja Turtles, Transformers, and see if they like in the end like as it progresses, and they're like, my whole life's been a lie.
They get to school and
yeah.
Well,
I have to homeschool them if I was going to do it. Like, if I was really serious about it. Like introduce, like, old computers and just slowly introduce, like, newer computers. And when they finally did get to the outside world, like, technology's like, what the fuck is that? And we're like, it's just a smartphone. Oh, my God. That's amazing technology. We're like,
yeah, it's
been out for, like...
30 years.
Yeah.
What?
You lied to me, but you're so much cooler for it. You're like 90s kid. You literally grew up in the 90s like I did, and it's so much better.
I hate you so much.
Yeah.
I don't understand any of this.
That rebellion, that only came from the 90s.
Yeah.
You didn't want that pussy-ass 2000 rebellion. They didn't know what the fuck they were yet.
No. You got kids going over and joining ISIS and then leaving like 6 months later because their iPod runs out of battery juice. And it's just like, battery. Not battery, it's battery. Battery is how you say it. Not
you
battery.
love Saved by the Bell and Full House and Family Matters, and don't tell me you don't fucking appreciate that. What would you have gotten otherwise? Desperate Housewives? Jersey Shore?
One Tree Hill.
One Tree Hill? I saved you.
But he also had Arrow and The Flash.
Which they'll catch up to that time period.
Eventually.
Yeah.
But he's missing out now.
Doesn't need it now.
Just too new.
Is it? I think like if you were into it now, you wouldn't appreciate it later on. My feeling. You appreciate it now because you had to live through shitty comic book adaptations and like never seen a comic book movie and yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Because even when you're young, they didn't really have anything like that.
We didn't watch as much TV.
I think
we weren't as
because it was like the die-off period. I think because if I'm not mistaken, you might have been like young enough when like Batman and Robin came out.
Yeah, I remember.
And after that,
when I was younger, I loved Batman and Robin, and Batman Forever. Yeah. I loved those movies. When I was
like
younger.
after that failure, there was no comic book shit for like a long time.
Yeah.
So
they came out
like
with Fantastic Four and Spider-Man. I was like, this is awesome.
yeah.
Now we get to hear.
But it's everywhere now.
Yeah.
I don't think kids would appreciate it now, like older, when they're like, yeah, Spider-Man is so fucking 2000.
You'll never know.
Yeah.
You
Well,
don't-
my
you
kid
don't
would
know.
know, because I'm gonna like.
No, I'm saying you don't know how they would react. You're assuming this. Like, it's.
It would be neat. Well, yeah, I don't know how they would react. I'm just kind of curious how they would react.
Because some people might look like that way too. Like they might be like thinking fondly of all the shit from like the 80s or
Mhm.
the 70s. Like, oh, that was a time period. Everyone has those groups and those generations
Mhm.
where this certain period is way better than everybody else. Like everyone.
Yeah,
has
but I'm taking it to like a child abuse kind of scene where I'm gonna just lock them up and not let them do something to the outside world until they're old enough to.
Small part of me hopes you never have kids.
I probably won't. I'm just curious how that would turn out. Like, I'm not like gonna lock them in the attic and just feed them fish heads.
Just like, would you never like let them leave the house? Then you could go to the store and like,
Well, if
Dad, what's this?
I probably like if I was gonna do it, I'd probably like live on a farm, like outside.
No contact. It's just
Yeah,
zombie apocalypse. It.
yeah. Maybe I'd do that with the other kid. Put him in a room and just tell him it was a zombie apocalypse, and see how he reacts.
You're a horrible person.
That's not horrible. That's just curiosity.
It's kind of horrible.
No.
You're stealing his childhood.
No, I'm giving him a better one.
In your opinion. What if he doesn't want your? What if it doesn't want
Saturday morning cartoons? I don't even get that anymore.
No.
That's gone.
There are cartoons on Saturday mornings, but you know you're so desensitized because Cartoon Network and
Yeah,
Disney
exactly.
and Nickelodeon. They still have them, you know. A lot of
I
them.
heard that it was off the air completely. Like
A lot
major
of them,
networks were saying they're not going to do Saturday morning cartoons anymore.
I'm not talking about like those ones like I know
They canceled
like
it.
CW15 or whatever.
I heard they were talking about it.
Because they still had like Yu-Gi-Oh and crap like that on there, and like it's a lot of it's just like rehashed, like or
Yeah.
redubbed, so, like Dragon Ball Z, Kai.
Yeah.
No. All right, well we are
Wrapping it up.
wrapping her up.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Be another podcast out soon, and maybe other stuff if we get around to it. So.
Which
This-
eventually we will.
Stay tuned, subscribe, and comment if you had
like or
something to bitch about.
dislike if you want.
Yeah, totally dislike. Dislike everything.
Sure, why not?
That doesn't not dishelp us, does it?
I don't know. I don't know. If anything,
If
it's just
the ad still runs, you still get the
maybe, but if like if
for
you,
watching.
but if, like all our videos have like just mounds and mounds
Of
and mounds of
dislikes.
dislikes. The people who like put the ads out there were like, I don't know if I want my
Oh,
ad
yeah.
running on there. It's like we could have like tons of views, and they might still put it out there.
Yeah.
But if like every video is like 1 like and like 5,000 dislikes,
Yeah. Just search your feelings
be honest with yourself.
and hit the like button.
All right.
Yeah.
Happy holidays and whatnots if you want to do that or not.
Blah. Have fun getting drunk and ignoring your family.
If you don't hear from us from New Year's, have a happy New Year. Merry
Just ends like that.
goodbye.